another method that we are looking at for procurement strategy is what we call a concessional contract. Concessional, there's a lot of group of work under, there's a lot of strategy under concessional, but they are mainly looking at the owner engaging a build, own, operate, transfer contractor who is also maybe the financier for the job, meaning that the contractor will build it completely using his own money, and then they are also the finance people for the job, and then at the end of the day, they own the facilities for a number of years, and then they will operate on it and then transfer it back to the client after 20 years or after 10 years, after the period ends. See, so a lot of these highway project in Kuala Lumpur and also overseas, and also, big cities, if the government do not have enough money, or they do not have enough resources to do this, especially in terms of dollars and cents, they don't have the budget to do this, there's a good chance that they may go for this sort of concessional contract, which involve build, own, operate, maintain, build, own, operate, transfer, build, operate, transfer. So if you see this BOT, BOTM, all this BOT, something like BOT or BOT, these are all related to concessional contract, whereby the contractor actually will be the main person to do the whole thing, represent the client, to do everything, including funding for the project. But their return will be ownership of the facilities over a period of time to gain back the income that they lost during the construction. So basically, the client don't have to pay a single thing, or in exchange, they will come up with the land, maybe free land, and then the contractor will do the work, and then they own the thing for a period of time, or they have the license to operate on it for a period of time before handing it back to the client for full ownership. Okay, so now there are all of this public and private financing. Like public-private partnership, private financing initiatives, PFI, PPP, public-private partnership. So build, own, operate, transfer is more like a public PPP, public-private partnership, meaning that a private agency finance for the project that to improve the, especially the government rating. The public usually means public project, so it's a government agency, and then the private are some private company who is coming together, join together in order to carry out the job. Like I say, going for the book kind of method, okay? And this sort of thing will definitely accelerate development of projects, especially with infrastructure projects, okay? But of course, at the end, the people has to pay, because the roads are not free to drive on. You still have to pay $5 or $10 or 2 ringgit, 3 ringgit to pass the bridge, to go through the toll, and that is actually a burden to the public in that sense, but it is definitely reducing the government or the public agencies' responsibilities, and also their delivery of infrastructure is going to be a lot faster to the people. So instead of taking 10 years to build five highways, they can build, 10 years they can build 10 highways, because they actually sort it out, give it up, because the money is not from them, you see. So it's a lot faster. It's actually financed by the public, not only the public, but the private sectors as well. So there's a lot of private sponsors, okay? So these are actually good opportunities for the private firm to move the economy as well. Like I said, projects comes faster. It can be done faster, faster, instead of waiting for public funding. And it may take years just to get the amount of money to fund the project. See, so the owner also, they will enjoy the whole facilities. They will definitely enjoy the whole, ready-made things, for a while, without them paying anything. It's FOC basically, yeah. But the disadvantage, of course, is actually the people, like I said, the interest of the government agency with the people, the citizens using the facilities, and also the contractor. There may be some heartfelt, dissatisfaction, because we have to pay as taxpayer pay for all these facilities as we're using it. And the owner basically has no say, nothing that they can do much with the control over the design and construction because they're not paying for it, you see. So yeah, so then this sort of project usually will take a lot of money. It will take a lot more money. The contract will be a lot larger. Maybe, supposed to be taking 50 million to build, but then because the owner needs to pull out the money, they have to count all the interest, their opportunity cost and all that. They may end up calling for 70 million, and then because they need to call it bigger so that they can get a longer operating period in that sense, and earn from there. You see, otherwise they're not going to get they're not going to recap back their money. You see, longer it is, it is more difficult for them to get back their money. So also it will involve maintenance and all that as well. So they need to count a lot of things into it. So the contract will tend to be a lot bigger than you pay. It's just like you're basically paying interest upfront kind of thing, and then later compared to when you pay something cash and then you don't pay for the interest. It's something like that along that kind of concept. Okay. And yeah, so read through this, there are some other disadvantages of concessional contract or public-private financing or private initiatives, private funding initiatives. So these are typical concessional contract. Like I said, there will be overpricing, there will be high financing costs, and unfortunately, that is something that's unavoidable. And then in the revenue collection, the agency who supply the land will not get anything because they didn't pay for anything. So they cannot get any revenue from the facilities until 20 years back later, or 10 years later, 15 years later, or even 30 years later. Okay. So yeah, so what kind of project is suitable for national things like, urgent, government has little of urgent need to build the country, build the economy, but no money to do that. And then it is important that they should be doing in a very regulated environment. So you don't go to like places that is like no government, kind of thing. All government rules change today, tomorrow is different. So these are usually done in a very regulated environment whereby the law and the systems and the order are very much clear and very honorable kind of environment, whereby the contracts are being honored, you see. So there are some countries, maybe like in Africa or maybe in some of Cambodia or, Myanmar sort of countries, we don't know, they have very unstable political environment. So government changes and the regulation changes. So to do those sort of things over there, in those sort of countries, it's going to be quite scary because the law may change tomorrow completely and you may go bankrupt, funding a project like this, you see. All right. So yeah, I mean, like there are some case studies that you you can take a look at that, and search for it and understand a concessional contract a little bit more. Okay, so I think with that, these are the usual traditional type of contracting method. And of course, there are other methods like joint venture, like strategic alliancing, like partnering. These sort of strategies are usually client and owner and builders coming together. They form a partnership, or owners and suppliers coming together to form a partnership in order to they will all contribute. Joint venture is that each one will contribute something in that contract, in that project, and then at the end of the day, what do they get? Who gets how much percent? Who gets how much percent? Partnering is more like a different thing. It can be like purely management partnering, like or design partnering, or partnering between suppliers and contractor. So partnering can take a lot more different mode, and strategic alliancing is more long-term sort of things. So these sort of things are more new age, new kind of thinking, new sort of method for procurement strategies. Okay. So with that, we basically end the type of procurement strategies that are available in the industry for us to select from. But at the end of the day, you still need to know your project very well. Very, very well. Okay, in order for you to pick the right procurement strategies. Because this will set the whole tone. If it's good, then everything else later will be good. If it's not, then it will be bad.